Carl Froch has been in New York, Berlin and Copenhagen this week to announce the most, and I'm not hyping this, the most amazing tournament, in my opinion, in boxing history. 6 of the best fighters in the world, and I don't just mean at their weight, I mean in the world, will meet in a mini league over a 2-year period, a roughly 2-year period. There will be 12 fights in total, and about $50 million will be paid to the boxers. That will increase, I'm convinced of it. It's absolutely amazing. It's called the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, and I'm delighted to say that Carl Froch is one of the boxers, and he joins me now on the line. Carl, thanks for joining us, mate. Carl, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you get me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, Carl, when did you first hear about this? When did Mick Hennessy let you know about this?
It was all put together very late. I probably heard about it about 10 days ago. So that's about 4 days before flying out on the press tour.
Now, when you first heard about it, did you, in your heart of hearts, did you think it was just too good to be true?
I didn't think it was too good to be true because it's a difficult tournament, and obviously I want to fight the best, but I thought it was too ambitious to be true. Yeah,
okay, that's more like it. But now you've been in Madison Square Garden, Tivoli Gardens and the Brandenburg Gate, and you've rubbed shoulders with the 5 other fighters and the other promoters and the broadcasters. It's going to happen, isn't it?
It is definitely going to happen. Like you say, I've rubbed shoulders with some of the top other fighters in the world, and I've befriended a couple of them as well. I mean,
Kessler, I've heard, yeah.
Mikhail Kessler and myself, yeah, we get on like, I don't know, like brothers. We're so similar in our makeup. It's uncanny, really. But no, it's been an experience, that's for sure.
Now, how does it work? Your first bout, if I'm not mistaken, is either late October or early November, and that's against the unbeaten American Andre Dirrell.
That's right.
Then on the same night in Berlin, Arthur Abraham will fight your former opponent Jermaine Taylor, and then Kessler will fight a guy, the 2004 Olympic light heavyweight champion Andre Ward, about November, and then it moves on to next year. Could you conceivably fight Kessler before the final, or are you two seeded apart? Do you know how it works, Carl, like that?
No, we're not seeded apart. I think we're in a similar group. It looks like I'm going to be fighting Kessler early next year in my second bout.
Okay.
That's not been confirmed yet, but it's looking likely. I think what it is, it's all still a secret, but, you know, there's no secrets in boxing.
But you all boxed 3 times, is that correct? Before 2 people get dropped, and then there's 2 semi-finals with the remaining 4.
That's correct.
I mean,
yeah, 3 fights each, and then 2 with the lowest points, according to the scoring system, get dropped out of the tournament, and we have a semi-final. So the 4 boxers go through to the semis.
Now, Carl, what about your WBC belt? Is that part of is that up for grabs on the night, or the WBC going to auction that out to some, 7th or 8th raters? Do you know what's going to happen with that, mate?
I do know what's going to happen. The WBC is on the line, and it just so happens that Andre Dirrell happens to be a mandatory as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Ward's opted out, so I'm defending my title, and it's on, and that goes the same for Mikhail Kessler. When I fight Mikhail Kessler, that will actually be a unification bout for the WBA and the WBC. Now,
the Dirrell fight's going to be in Nottingham, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's what we're planning for.
Yeah, and that'll be in Nottingham, and that'll be on the same night as the Arthur Taylor fight. And my understanding is, and I've heard this, is that your fight will be for an American time, like 1 o'clock or something. Taylor and Abrahams will take place at European time, and then they're going to be put on a jet to come ringside with you. Have you heard the same thing?
I've heard that all the fighters will be watching all the other fighters in the tournament to sort of keep the interest and keep everything flowing. I mean, it's very exciting for me to box and then go and watch who I'm fighting next in their fight. So if I am fighting Kessler, I'll be keen to go and watch Kessler v Ward.
Yeah, and listen, and so will I. Now, the whole thing with this, Carl, we talked about, over-ambitious. I mean, it just seems to me just the most fantastic way for boxing to show that, you know what, we can get it together. 5 different promoters, several different countries, different organisations. We can get it together. What's more, we can keep it together for 22 or whatever months. I mean, this really is the shot in the arm that boxing needs.
I agree with you. It's unprecedented in that sense, because very rarely do promoters work together in a positive way in boxing. That's the problem with the sport at the minute. One of the problems, anyway. And obviously, to get all the fighters to agree to fight each other, and we've also, it's a unique situation where it's a win, lose or draw scenario based on a point system. So you know, there's incentive there. Even when I give Durrell a whooping, there's incentive for him to come back and fight in his next fight and try and achieve a knockout and pick up
the points.
The bonus point.
Yeah, I've seen those points. Now, I've got loads of text here, Carl. I'm just going to fly through them. One's from Hassan. He says it's great to hear Carl on the show, and he wants to know who you consider to be the biggest problem out of the other 5 fighters. That's Hassan. Who's the biggest problem there potentially for you?
To keep it short, just based on experience and past form, I'd say Kessler and myself are the biggest threats in this tournament. But, you know, we've got 2 unknown quantities in Durrell and Ward.
Yeah, of course.
And Ward seems very, very serious about the game. Olympic gold medalist. And I've met himself and Durrell. I've met Ward and Durrell. I've done a bit of work with them over the last couple of days in New York. And they're serious athletes and they mean business.
They certainly do. Now, the other thing, I've got an email here from Paul Kerr in Dunblane. I tell you what, I've had one's from Limerick, one's from Dunblane. It's amazing this for BBC London. He wants to know, do you think this is going to be the start of tournaments breaking out all other weights, Carl?
I think it will be, provided that this tournament gets the television coverage it deserves in Britain.
Yep.
And that could be down to the fans. If the fans want to email in, write in, show their interest, and get this shown on British television, then who knows? This could be the future of the sport right here. You
know what we might do, Carl? I might get people to attack the TV companies and the newspapers for coverage via that website, the Bring Back Bunts thing, the thing that you signed. You were the 2nd or 3rd person to sign it. That's right. Yeah. That's an open forum now. And finally, Carl, the final text here is from Chris Houghton. He says, he thinks Carl will destroy Durrell in the Boxing Classic series. Well, you've already answered that one, and I tend to agree. But, hey, listen, you've got to make sure you don't take the eye of the prize. Listen, Carl, what was it like, just before I let you go, what was it like being on the road? Because in New York, you were some fancy photographer in some loft apartment, and then, of course, Kessler's mob going bananas in Copenhagen, and then Abrams' mob going mad in Brandenburg. One question, why didn't we have a tour in London?
Well, that's it.
Or Nottingham, even.
The whole thing was surreal, and I think because New York's obviously an English-speaking country, they thought that would work. But I'm of the opinion we should have flew straight back to London the next day and done a press conference in London on the Tuesday, and then gone on to Europe. But, you know, it's down to the press to pick this up and show everybody what a big deal it is, because it really is a fantastic tournament. It's unique, and it's going to be unbelievable. And people need to get behind it. Well, we will. We're doing. I think you and I are doing. Yes, instead of one man band. I think you and I are doing something on 5 Live tomorrow as well. That's right, yeah, we are. Well, we'll give it a big push on the national system. Although, tell you what, I've having people on from Limerick, Sheffield and Dunblane. I think I've turned national for 1 hour. Carl Froch, it's a pleasure every single time I have you on this show or the formerly defunct show. And thanks again, mate, for putting your name on that petition. Carl Froch, their WBC Super-Middleweight champion, the betting favourite for this phenomenal tournament that's been set up, promoted by Mick Hennessy, and a thoroughly decent human being. Coming up, we'll have Ronald McIntosh on the Savage.